Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I'm going to cover the next topic, that is cloning objects in JavaScript. So what is that? Cloning objects. The topic is cloning objects. Cloning objects in JavaScript. There are multiple ways of cloning the objects, but before that you need to understand one thing. Earlier, we have used something known as object.create, right? If you remember in the one of the previous sessions I covered here, somewhere here, object.create. So will object.create will clone? The answer is no. It's going to create a replica, okay? Using the properties in an existing object, a new object will be created as a replica of an existing object, okay? There the properties will be inherited. Coming to the object.create, okay, which I covered in one of the previous sessions here, the existing object properties will be replicated in the newly created object. They are not cloned, okay? They are replicated. Existing object properties are replicated in newly created objects with the help of this. Okay. So here properties from an existing object, properties from existing objects are not cloned. Instead, they are inherited into the newly created object. That means the newly created object with the help of this object.create doesn't own these inherited properties. They are owned by the existing object. But the newly created object is just a replica. It's like a prototype only. Okay. Whose properties which are replicated from existing object are just inherited. They are not owned by the new object. But in case of cloning object, if you clone an existing object, the properties of an existing object will be owned by the newly created objects also. Okay. If you are cloning any object, the properties of the existing object are not just inherited or replicated into the newly created object. Instead, okay, they are cloned. They are cloned means the newly created object will have the same properties as its own object, is its own properties. Okay, the properties of the existing object and the properties of the cloned object has its own properties in this case of cloning, but here it doesn't have, newly created object doesn't have its own properties. Okay, those properties which came as a replica from the existing object are not owned by the newly created object. That's what you need to understand. But how to clone objects is a question, right? To clone the objects, there are multiple ways. First way is by using some logic. Okay, by using some JavaScript logic, I'll demonstrate that. Here I'll say clone hyphen object.js, I'll say, and here let me create an object first of all, which I want to clone. The properties I want to clone, name colon, just give, I don't need to read, then comma, then experience colon, I'll give 19, comma, I'll give some function, greet user function, and say function here. Just write here console.log. I'll just say welcome. Just say welcome here. Okay. Just say welcome here. Then next, now I want to create a clone of this existing object into a newly created object. Okay. How to clone that? For that, let me create a object first of all. Let person. Okay. For now, there are no properties, but I want to clone this object into this newly created object. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to do that with the help of a loop. Okay. For let key in user, which is an existing object. I'm going to iterate the keys in the existing object. Here I'm going to write let key in user. For let key in user, I need to write something like this. Okay. Newly created object is person. Person of key is equal to user of key. Person of key means the person of key is equal to user of key. I'll be writing like this. Okay. So with this way, what should happen? Okay. Person of key is equal to user dot key. So with this way, the properties of this should be cloned into the newly created. So let me run this and see what is happening. Let me print the person here. Go here and click on new terminal and just write down node space clone hyphen object dot js. You see, Exactly cloned. As it is, it's gone. Okay, as it is, it is cloned. Name Arun Motor experience 19. Greet user function also came. So this is how using the logic we can clone an existing object into a newly created object. Here, these properties which are cloned into the person, okay, are its own, okay? This person's its own properties, not the inherited properties, unlike object.create, okay? Now, this is one way, guys, this is one way, and there are other ways, okay? So I'll just create one more thing, clone hyphen object hyphen 2.js. I'll say here also let user is equal to, let me create an object again. What was that? Name is name colon. I'll just give the same thing, Arun Motori, comma, experience colon 19, comma, then what was the other one, guys? Okay, greet user function or method, you can say. Inside the object we can generally call the functions as methods. Okay, here I'll say welcome. Now, instead of writing the logic, is there any way to clone this particular object into a clone this object into a newly created object? Can I clone this existing object into a newly created object? For that, let person is equal to, if I write like this, okay? If I write like this, there is a way, guys. Instead of writing like this, what I can do here is let object dot, there are some ways. There are some ways, guys. The first way is object dot assign. Assign method is there, okay? There is a method known as assign method. Here in the assign method, I have to pass, okay, the first one, comma, okay, that is, this person is kind of empty first of all, okay. Now into this, I want to assign this user, okay, user, you write here, that's it, simple. Now, using this assign method, by passing these two arguments where initially the person doesn't have any properties and user is a existing object that I want to create a clone of, okay. So person clone will be created, and if I print this, okay, instead of writing the for in loop logic, right? You can do like this. If I print this person, if I get the same output, then we are good to go. Okay, go here, go to terminal, new terminal, and just run this code and see whether it is happening or not. Node space clone hyphen object hyphen 2.js. You see, it got perfectly cloned. This way also, using assign method also, we can clone. And there's one more thing, guys. There's a possibility that this person also already has some. Okay, this person already has some. If you want to have the person already has a property. Okay, inside this curly braces, you can write the property like, for example, location colon Hyderabad, you write down. Okay, that means this Hyderabad property is already there. This Hyderabad property is already there inside this person. Along with this location property, along with this location Hyderabad property, I would like to add extra properties while I'm cloning this user. Okay, it's not a exact clone, right? Along with this user properties getting cloned into the person has its own property. Okay, in that case, we can write like this. So if I run this, all these four properties, location and other three remaining properties also will be there. Total four properties should come this time. Okay, just write node space clone hyphen object hyphen 2.js. Four properties should come. Location, name, experience, and greet user should come here. Okay. Location, name, experience, and greet user should come as a four properties. Already this person has a one property. Along with that, three more properties came. Right? Now, there is one more way also, guys. Okay? There is one more way also. What is that way? I'll just show you. What is that third way? What is the other way? I'll show you. Okay? There is an operator, guys. There is an operator. Using that operator also, we can clone it. Okay? We can clone. Apart from using the assign method, we can also use this spread. Okay, there is an operator known as spread operator. Okay, what is this operator? This spread operator in JavaScript is represented with three dots. Using these three dots also we can clone. How to clone with the help of this? Let me show you. I'll create one more thing. Clone hyphen object hyphen 3.js. I'll say here. Let me create that, or let me copy this. Otherwise, let me copy this object here. Okay, let me copy this object here, and so that the time will be saved. Let person is equal to, okay, empty, or you don't have to worry about the person here. So what you have to do here is, what I have to do here, guys, have to clone it, right? So with the help of spread operator, I can clone it. Okay, using the spread operator, I can clone it. It's very simple, guys. I don't have to use any method or object or whatever it is. Just provide this empty curly braces. Inside that, provide three dots followed by the property name, sorry, object name, that is user. That's it, simple. This is the simplest form of cloning the object in JavaScript. Okay, Just provide the curly braces and say dot 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 user. Automatically, the properties in the user will be cloned into the person. Okay. So here, if I say console.log and if I print the person, I should be getting the same output. Let's see whether we are getting the same output or not. I'll just write here node space, clone space, object space, 3.js. Okay. Are they cloned? Yes. The properties are perfectly cloned into the, okay. This object is cloned properly by the newly created object. Okay, these are the multiple ways of cloning the objects in JavaScript, guys. For reference, you can use this, guys. A lot of information is there here. Okay, these notes you can use as a reference. Okay, let me open this notes and see what are the multiple ways of cloning the objects in JavaScript. There are many other ways also, but these are the major ones that you have to understand. Using spread operator, using assign method. Just now I told you, right? Other things are also there, guys. I'm not going that deep now. Okay, whatever I'm covering is spread operator, assign, and uh, using some logic, right? Using some logic also, I did that, right? What was the logic? Using the for in loop. Using the for in loop also, we can clone. Is there anything mentioned about the for in loop? How to clone with help of for in loop? Is the one cloning objects in JavaScript? Is this the one? Yeah, I think this is the one, guys. Okay, somehow it got misplaced or something. Let's see. Cloning an object in JavaScript. Let me see whether this is the notes. Okay, just give me a second. Just go here. So spread operator using assign method, and the other way is by using the logic. Okay. So we can, the simplest way is by using the spread operator. Spread operator, that is 3 dots, is the simplest way out of all. Okay. So you see, using for in loop also we can do that. Okay. Fine. Then yeah, that's it, guys. That's it. We are done with this session where I have showed you how to clone objects in JavaScript. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye bye.